Konnichiwa. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for your watch hours, your likes, your comments, and your subscriptions. Thank you. I opened up to my mom about this person. He fixed my life completely. Okay. He cracked my heart wide open. It came out of nowhere. This big boom fell over my vitality. In a way, he saved my life because I am a different person than when we first met or I heard of him, whatever it is. But it is that. Okay. In a way, he saved my life. My mother told me that I was delusional or to ever think that person that I'm telling you guys about could have a healthy relationship with me, and that I had nothing in my life to show for anybody to care about me in a healthy way. She then continues to not give me food, although she has money, and denies me of food by either poisoning the food, or asking me to get my own, whichever way. Although I don't have enough money to buy groceries. My mother and my nephew, who are both face jerks and Scorpios that I currently live with, have put this type of poison on my clothes that's caused a huge rash on the side of my hip down to the middle of my leg. Like this big red rash here. I seen it while I was at the gym getting dressed in my clothes. And down to the middle of my leg, that's burned me for a few days and left me red, as well as cut up the shoes that I wear on my feet and dirty up the other pair of boots that I purchased by putting it in unsafe places. What did I do to deserve this to happen to the only things that I do have over and over again? High profile case, Ruby Frank was once a popular vlogger who gave parenting advice to her millions of followers. But behind the scenes, she was physically torturing and starving at least two of her children. The 41-year-old Utah mother of six, who pleaded guilty in December, I don't have the dates, December, to 4 counts of second-degree child abuse, admitted to a slew of horrific acts that included forcing them to work outside in the sweltering heat without adequate water until they blistered, insufficient food, and ripped away from technology entertainment. She tried to convince her children that they were evil and possessed, and that the punishments were necessary for them to repent. She described the abuse as acts of love. The disturbing details were revealed in Frank's statement filed in court last December in support of her guilty pleas, in which she stated she abused two of her children in Washington County from May the 22nd until her arrest on August 30th. Ruby Frank. In the case of the Morgan 2012 debate. When an X becomes an X, either two truths will happen. You become best friends and you both love each other. I value the truth, and anyone who is not a truth is merely a dissenting voice to the truth that I speak. My contention: when I end a relationship with anybody, it is out of compassion. My criterion is to bring about change, not hold on to the ladder of violence that I hope nobody ever chooses. Okay. Definitions for today is the Mayans. 2012 is the movie based on what everybody thought the Mayans had said, which is a very good point that the world is going to end. I was terrified, but hear me out, okay? But let's talk about the Mayans here. I'm going to pull some cards from the Heavenly Bodies Astrology Tarot deck. 2012 is based upon the phenomenon that's happened across the world, that the world was going to end in the year 2012. The Mayas, alchemically speaking, do not speak of the end of the world. Specifically, they say that everything transforms in this. They were speaking to the spirit of everything that hath breath transforming, not the world. This is when the universe became in solar system, whoever you're connected with became spiritual, right? That was the year 1999 when that started here. Virgo, integrity, reverence, and service. It was the moment where integrity became a big thing. It was time for the whole world to change in that ways, which the Mayans are saying, to show integrity, for it to be exposed, the time that we will finally divide us into two for this war here. So it wasn't that the world was going to end, it was the evolution of ourselves, not the world, of human bodies that was changing over the entire world here. And Mayans make this prophecy every 13 years, very Virgo energy. You know, Virgo likes to plan things. That's sort of like Virgo energy is ruled by Mercury. So it has to do something with planning. The Mayans are these warriors who make it their duty to fight for resources such as royal blood coming back to oneself, taking over, right? The good, the bad, separated. They're like, no, we're about to do this. This is what's going to happen. This is what's happening, is what the Mayas are saying. The world is being divided now. And this started in the year 1999 and ended in the year 2012. A big change happened in those years. So that's 13 years that they have each prophecy here. We have trine. I don't usually read trines here, but I guess since it's wanted to come out. Okay, triangle. It's also fire. Angelic supports harmony and perfect flow. Angelic supports came in the year 1999 is what the Mayans are saying. Perfect flow was starting to come. That's when it started in 1999. And it's a big shock because you've seen all of these years how much has been going on. Yeah, it looks bad today, but look how bad it was before. There might not be every story out there, right? I mean, we have presidents after presidents after presidents after presidents, and people are still homeless. And dealing with the face jerk bullshit. Okay, so the next 13 years from 2013 to 2026 is where we are at. Correct me if I'm wrong, my mathematicians. 13 years started 2013 to the year 2026. We are currently, my XO crew and I are currently in the year of 2024. Scorpio. Ooh, it's intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. That's why during these years, I don't know if it was just me, I discovered a lot of my own superpowers, purging those out of my body. Like I was laying down this one time and I actually flew to the sky by myself. I flew to the sky and I had this dream one time where I actually trembled. I was inside of the dream. I remember being in a coffee shop, just screaming at everybody, "Is anybody going to help me? Is anybody going to help me?" And it was in the coffee shop. And I remember this dream. I was laying on my bed. And what happened during the dream is like I was trembling and I kind of lifted off the bed a little bit. I remember shaking, right? Not too sure about my powers yet, as well as I have this other power where I cry in sadness and purge this all out. And one of my darkest wishes came true across America because of this purge that I had, came halfway true. Because remember, these years that the Mayans predicted are of purging. So we not yet know how to embody all of our powers, but this is the year where you purge so much that when the year 2027 comes, you are able to have as much power as possible, right? So this was really maintaining and increasing our internal energy is what is happening now. So if you are still in difficult relationships, have to pray. Because this is a great time to really increase your vitality and get it up for the next coming 13 years, right? We have Sagittarius, optimism, exploration, and freedom. Future energy 2027. So we had the past, the present, and the future, which is going to be Sagittarian energy, really. Not necessarily, but there's going to be this freedom because we are free souls about which powers we really do have. It's going to be it's an amazing phenomenon here. That's why I like to talk about getting with the XO crew and seeing everybody's superpowers now and just seeing the growth of everybody. Right. Okay, Jackson Curtis's career. Okay. I will be pulling tarot cards from the Horror Tarot deck this time, actually. The Horror Tarot deck. Add an element of horror to your tarot experience with this spooky and unique take on the traditional 78 card tarot deck. Let's just say this is a modern tarot deck here, right? Oh, sorry. The Dark Tarot set features scenes and characters inspired by classic horror literature, films, and beyond in gorgeous original illustration. Featuring both major and minor arcana, the set also comes with a helpful guidebook explaining each card's meaning, as well as simple instructions for easy readings packaged in a sturdy decorative gift box. This terrifying collectible tarot deck is a perfect gift for the horror fan or tarot enthusiast. I'm super gangsta, okay? Before, I had to just throw everything away and start back the tarot channel because that's what had to happen. I got this off of Temu or AliExpress, where the tarot deck cards are cheap. Just an FYI, doesn't come with a guidebook, okay? But I knew I was coming back to tarot after a while. I was like, okay. It's all about home-based businesses, you know? I worked for DoorDash before this. I just DoorDashed. That's it. Oh, and Chick-fil-A for a little bit as well. After my last channel got deleted, I deleted. Okay, Jackson's career. 2 cards. Wow. Safety. He wanted everybody to be safe here. We have the King of Cups and Queen of Cups. Holy moly, macaroni. Jackson was alarmed and shocked because he heard from Charlie, which we'll talk about later, the Kiprov twins. We'll also talk about later. Tarot readings should be up. We're doing the 2012 movie. And on the TV were right about that the end of the world was happening. He didn't want to let his family die in vain and wanted to get to the arks where the government had been secretly building. So the government was secretly building these arks here. Okay. In this movie, Jackson actually deals with a failed romance with Kate, his former wife, who he has children with. He sees that, okay, we just need to get to safety. Like, this is a dangerous situation. And all he knows is, and what he has manifested is, we need to get to these arcs that the government, who are face jerks, the president, all of them, right, have built so we can be safe because there's trees cracking people are dying. The world was ending. Wow. This just says, like, it really wasn't one of those happy endings where he had his Queen of Cups, because what he had was his ex-former wife. Okay, this Queen of Cups looks powerful here. Okay, she's drinking her wine glass, but heartbreakingly, Jackson just wanted the safety for his family, including his son, his daughter Lily, who is a face jerk, his ex former wife, who is a face jerk, and her current husband. Who is a face jerk, I believe, but I haven't discovered that yet. We'll get into that. But he needed the safety. That was all he was worried about here. Intense. He had to just go with all of his vitality that he had in that moment of discovering how to survive in danger mode. How can we get out of this situation? Pull out some tarot cards here. Did the government care about the human existence? No. What was the government and all of those face strokes involved effect on the whole solar system or the universe? Whatever works for you. Broken relationships. People doing their best to keep two loves together, does not want real love to happen. Does not want real love to happen. And we see this because his ex-wife towards the end gave him this one look, and out of loneliness, he was like, yeah, oh yeah, we can still make this work. But that wasn't true at all. Because she is a face jerk, he'd just be wasting his time. But because of that scariness and the danger, I'd be fearful too. It didn't give him time to think, and here she came. But she already knows her agenda. She still doesn't believe in love and does not want real love to happen. Okay, let's pull out some Spirits Junkie Tarot cards to close out this reading by Gabrielle Bernstein, artwork by Michaela Ezra. What do I want for war is healthy relationships between two people. I pray to God that we choose the latter of stopping fake romances. But how can we do that? To allow safety amongst everybody here. Right. These two look so powerful. But when, even I noticed, when Jackson decided to look into his ex's wives, he looked weaker. He looked weak. It looked like his vitality had went down, his internal energy. Because she wouldn't leave him alone. But it is up to him to realize and see how far he has came and how much he's went through to not settle as well. And confront that situation because his ex-wife was his ex-wife for a reason who he had 2 children with. I send a prayer of love to all beings in need of a miracle. I do. I send a prayer to my XO crew and I of love to all beings in need of a miracle. I don't get closure from my flings really, and it hurts me when I leave, but I always believe I had this vitality in me. And I see XO crew and I in these relationships settling, and it brings down our vitality. So what I want for war as well is to make the world safer. Make the world safer. Because the other people who my XO crew and I are at war with, they don't want that. Okay. Thank you all so much for tuning in with me today. Excuse me. Thank you for your likes, your comments, your subscriptions, and your watch hours. I currently do offer services that is currently down below in tarot reading and services. Tarot reading services and extended readings. ASTRO services will be coming out as I go, and we will make it, I swear. Okay, let's keep going.
A tutelar.